Draw my life. Alright, Chad, how do you draw my life? What the fuck am I drawing? I'm trying to think what happened in my life. What happened? I'm just trying to think where it all went wrong. Okay, so I think the baby days we can skip that because I don't even fucking remember. The first eventful thing in my life, I guess, would be when I was around 6 or 7. 6 or 7 years old. I'm doing stick figures, chat, because that's my drawing capacity. Also, when I was younger, do you guys know I had blonde hair? Like naturally blonde hair. Very light hair. So, the first thing I remember when I was 7 years old, my dad enrolled me into Taekwondo. It was like my first sport. Actually, we did karate for like a month. And then my dad was like, nah, fuck that shit. We're going to Taekwondo. So my dad enrolled me and my brother in Taekwondo when we were young, old enough to be enrolled. And my brother was 9 years old. He was like, compared to me, he's like this tall. Back then. Now we're the same height, but back then, this was my brother. We went to Taekwondo. We were pretty talented at Taekwondo. What our dad has been doing to us ever since we were like babies, he's been making us do like splits and stuff and stretching and stuff. So we were always very flexible since we were young kids. So when we enrolled in Taekwondo, we could already like do like, you know, we could do the kicks, the high kicks and all the stuff like pretty easily because we were, you know, pretty flexible, right? So we enrolled in Taekwondo about at the same time that I started going to elementary school. And my elementary school was this like, the school was like 2 floors, but it only had like 2 classrooms, right? And it was like straight up, it looked like this. I'm not kidding. It looked like straight up. There was a window right here. The stairs were here. The door was like right here. This was the window. And this, you would enter and go up the stairs, and this is where the classroom was, right? It was a small, fucked up house that was falling apart, right? This was my elementary school for 4 years. This thing was falling apart. So after 4 years, they took us out of this. I'm still doing Taekwondo during those 4 years, of course. I think at this point I'm like blue belt or some shit. Anyway, after 4 years, this thing falls apart completely, and then we moved to the real school, a massive school. I don't know if I can draw it. It was like this big. It had so many classrooms. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like a square building. This was like the upper floor. It was like a million windows. Like actually a million windows. It was massive. It has like a massive door like this.
Happy like
chaos. Double door on the entrance. And then there was a massive gym right here. And I have to delete this real quick. Because this school had its own like gym. There's like a connection right here. Where's the brush? So there's like a little bridge you would take on the 2nd floor. And this bridge led to like a massive fucking gym, right? Massive gym with a basketball court and everything. Anyway, that was my elementary school. In elementary school, I was a straight A student because, I mean, it was just fucking easy, right? So now, elementary school for us is 8 years long, which is about until you're like 14. When I was about 14, 15, I enrolled in high school. I enrolled in the same school as my brother. My brother went to a gymnasium, and I went to a gymnasium, and we both chose the same path, which was the science math path, which is the hardest one to get into. We fucking hate it. This is where I meet a bunch of my like friends. This is when everything goes wrong, chat. High school is when everything goes wrong. This is where I met my best friend. Let's call him Joseph. Okay. This is where I met Joseph. I'm a Joseph. We're best friends. He plays the guitar. I play the guitar. We like the same music. We start hanging out. I start sleeping over at his place. He starts sleeping over at my place. We just became good friends, right? And then we started going out. Like, this is where everything goes wrong, chat. When I first came into the science school, it was pretty fucking easy, because I followed the lessons. After a couple months, we all got comfortable with each other. And we started going out about every Saturday. And we started getting drunk almost every Saturday. And we started, smoking the devil's lettuce. You know how it is when you're young, you're trying shit out, It is how it is. So we started going out like crazy, spending all our time outside. So it came to the point where we stopped giving a fuck about school. At least me and Joseph. I'm talking about all 4 years. But currently we're talking about year one. Year one. Everyone got to know each other better. And we started going out. And we started doing dumb shit. This is the year where our grades were still, decent grades. Until the summer came. The first year passed, we had a decent grades. And then the year one summer was probably the craziest summer of my life. Where I pretty much spent every day with Joseph. And we just partied a lot. I remember he was always bragging how much girls he fucking that was always funny to me, because like I never gave a fuck, but he always bragged with how much girls he like hooked up during the summer. I remember there's a number in the 20s. Just so you guys know, he is a good looking dude, but also we're a tourist town, okay? There's a bunch of tourist girls that just like don't care, They just show up and they don't care. I never really gave a fuck. I was always more of a relationship type person, while he was more of a hookup type person. And my first relationship actually happened in year one. This is where my first relationship happened, year one, when I was 15. It's when my first kiss happened, right? That didn't last long, obviously, but a couple months. Year two rolls up. Now I'm 16, right? Now I'm 16 years old. This is where I met. Okay, so you guys know how I had a girlfriend until January of this year. And we were together for quite a while, and I've known her for about 10 years. This is the year when I met her. When I was 16-year-old, we were camping on this massive island. Right? This is massive island surrounded by water. It's a cool camping site. And we were like camping overnight. These are tents, right? And she was there and all my friends were there, and that's where I met her for the first time. And we were just really good friends back then. These are probably some of my fondest memories of my high school, of my life in general. When I was 16, life was good. And everything was just so much more simpler and innocent back then. A lot of things changed with me and her, but back then, like, it was just good vibes, When I was 10 years old, this is when I got my first PC and started playing video games, right? In elementary school. During this entire time to high school, I was still playing video games. And around 16 years old is when I got super serious about gaming. I wanted to be pro. Which is what made school intolerable for me. Around that time, I got a lot more introverted and depressed. Because I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to live my life as a pro gamer. But I had to do school. And my parents, obviously, forced me to do school, because who the fuck would tell their kid to quit for pro gaming when they're 16, right? So The next 3 years were pretty fucking bad. 16, 17, bad grades, didn't care, don't care, didn't care, still don't care, I don't care. I'm just playing games. I don't care. Okay? I did not care about anything. I was just playing games. So, the grades were terrible. But I was getting good at video games. Really good. College. My grades are not good, but I got into college. And from when I was like 19 to when I was like 23, I spent in college. Man, I hated every second of it. Every single bit of it was torture for me. What I did is IT, so a lot of programming and shit. And at first I liked it. The first year was super fun. Second year to third year, I started really fucking hating it. It just wasn't for me, and I just couldn't see myself spending a whole life in an office uh, and not be depressed, right? Like I'm just not that type of person. And this is where I became like super introverted. I lost a lot of my friends. I stopped talking to a lot of my friends. There's nothing really much to tell you guys about college. Like that shit was bad. I did not enjoy it. I hated my life, and all I did is play video games. Move fast forward to when I was like around 23 is when I got my first break in Apex. Went to the Poland LAN. Made my first like big bucks of video games. Got signed to North right after. And then I talked to my dad and I was like, can I quit college now? I hate it. And my dad was like, okay, you can quit. Like you can freeze it. So I froze my college, so RIP college. This is, well, first it was sore in Poland. But then I got poached by Mande for North, Mande Teshin. Then we went and joined, obviously, Scars, won champs, and here we are. One thing I also forgot to say is that during high school I also took tennis. I did tennis, and I really loved tennis. But it was only for like a couple years. And I also played the guitar a little bit. I got in high school I got interested in music, but in college, for me in college it was either music or gaming. Like in college I got really interested in music. That's about my whole life. It's really not that eventful. It's pretty fucking basic. That's my parents' opinion on me being pro. At first, my dad hated it. Absolutely hated it. When I started making money off of it, then he was like, okay, never mind. It's kind of good. Now he's really supportive. In same shit, like when I first did my tattoo, my dad hated the fact that I made a tattoo on my arm. When I first talked about getting a tattoo, my dad was like, I'm gonna kick you out the house. I was like, I don't give a fuck. It's my money. I'll go make it. And I did it, and then he liked it. Just my dad being my dad. You know, he's a weirdo sometimes. And now I'm getting a neck tattoo, and he's fine with it. I don't know. Parents are weird, man. They think they know what's best for you, and then I mean, sometimes they do, but like when I'm fucking 25, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. But yeah, my parents are super supportive of what I do now. It was a struggle when I was younger. It was a lot of fighting back and forth, but they just want the best for you at the end of the day. Like school's good for you because it can definitely open up opportunities for you, but it's not for everyone, right? I achieved my dream of being a pro player, and now I can also like be a VTuber and try and work on another dream, which is music.